Yeah, I mean, there's big questions about testing now, isn't there? Because Germany appear to be testing around 500,000 a week.
Yeah.
We're still not at the 70,000 a week that ministers promised us about, 20 days ago.
Yeah.
Now, there's been some talk in the last 24 hours that the reason we're not testing is because there's been a shortage of the chemicals, the reagents, as they're called by the experts. That's what the government said. But then last night, the chemicals industry came out and said, look, we will make you these chemicals, but you've not been in touch with us. Just tell us what you need. So I hope that ministers are getting together with manufacturing and the chemicals industry ASAP to sort of work out what we can do on this, because we clearly need to be ramping up the testing, don't we?
I think so, yeah. But also, as the Chief Medical Officer said in the past, it's important to know not so much whether somebody is positive at the moment, but whether they've actually had it. They seem to be more keen on that particular test because it seems to be more valuable.
Well, I would say, I mean, if you look at what's happening across the world, and the World Health Organization recommend this, the way to get a grip of this, to really beat this virus, is to test people and to trace everyone who's been in contact with someone who's had the virus and get them to isolate. That's what will break the chains of transmission. And you've got now Jeremy Hunt, who was, of course, the health secretary in the cabinet for many years, saying that as well. So if we can ramp up this testing, get it out into the community, and do the other test, which is the new test, which will be online soon, on stream soon, which tests whether you've had it, we can really begin to get control of this virus.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We've been just talking to lots of people, obviously, as we do on the radio, people phoning in. We've had callers who have been in Southeast Asia, many of whom got the test while they were in Vietnam, for instance, and they were saying that for 3 weeks they were basically told that they had to stay indoors and they had to self-isolate, but they never actually had any symptoms, even though they tested positive. So there's a lot of differences in terms of how some people are getting this.
There's huge differences across the world. So in Southeast Asian countries, because they were so hit by the SARS pandemic, they have taken this really, really seriously, and they've really put in place very stringent measures to get people to isolate, get people to quarantine. And it looks like South Korea have been really successful in this, for example. We in Europe have taken a slightly different approach, and not everyone is convinced that we've done the right thing. I mean, Jeremy Hunt, again, has been saying we should be doing what they've been doing in China and South Korea. We will see. I mean, we all want this effort to beat this virus to succeed, obviously, don't we? But, there are big questions about who has got the right approach.
Yeah, exactly.
Or those in the Asian countries.
Well, quite. And also with China currently being accused of lying about the numbers and lying about how they actually dealt with it, and possibly now lying about how they have dealt with it and how it's kind of coming out of a bad place. It's difficult to know. What do you make of those accusations?
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of suspicion and mistrust of China, isn't there, in all of this? And we'll have to see what happens in the next couple of days with their numbers. But I think people can be generally trust South Korea. They're a liberal democratic country, and their numbers they've been very good at suppressing this virus, and they've had very low death rates compared to many of the countries in Europe. So, and they've really invested in testing. They're testing, I think, on a per capita basis more than other countries, because they really think that is the way in which you beat this virus.
Do you think once this is all over, the world should consider some kind of sanction against China?
Well, I mean, I don't know about that, but I mean, obviously, if we think it began in China, we've got to have questions about how it began and what went on there. And I think that the priority for the world, though, at the moment, has got to be the development of a vaccine. And when that vaccine emerges, making sure it's distributed across the world quickly, because there is no escape from this unless we get vaccinated. I mean, some are speculating we could go through cycles of lockdowns. We'd lock down for a couple of months or so, come out, then lock down again until a vaccine emerges. So when the vaccine is available, we've got to make sure that is distributed across the world.
Any intelligence heads up on the Saturday result?
Well, I presume it'll be Keir Starmer. He's the bookie's favourite, but you never know in life, do you?
Will you still be health secretary then? Do you think?
I wish I was the health secretary. I'm under the shadow. But, I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll talk to you next week, and maybe you'll still be shadow health secretary. We shall see.
Okay.
Thanks very much, Jonathan.
Cheers. Take care.